Run Free and Live, welcome. I just want to give a quick update on today's workout. Had a talk with the coach yesterday, so we adjusted accordingly. And basically, today's run was just 4 by 5 minutes at a threshold pace, and then with each set, you're gonna do a minute recovery, and then after that, we're gonna do a 10-minute steady state run, which is about another 30 seconds, 25, 30 seconds slower, roughly. And then that'd be a total of probably 5 miles or less. And with the 2 mile warm up in the beginning, whatever's left over, because it's supposed to be 8 miles total, will be the cool down. This run ended up being just about 8 miles with 2 mile warm up. It was roughly around 4 miles, 4 miles and 3/4, just about a quarter mile shy of 5 miles to do the 4 by 5 minutes and 10-minute threshold with the recoveries in between. And so I just did a mile cool down at the end. I went to the track. It's been snowing here the past few days. It doesn't snow that often here in Washington. I'm outside of Seattle area. However, it did snow a lot on Monday. Today's Thursday. So on Monday we got slammed with snow. Tuesday wasn't as bad, but they definitely hit everybody, and we had more snow on Wednesday. So some schools were canceled the first 2 days, some schools canceled 3 days, but work was still okay though, is what I've noticed. Overall, the snow stayed, and it's starting to go away as of this morning. So yesterday evening was the first time it didn't snow that much. It snowed in the afternoon, but it didn't stay, and it started changing over to rain a little bit towards the evening. So this morning, it was great on the roads. Like the roads itself are good. The sidewalks, the track still had snow on it. It wasn't melted as much. I think because the temperatures of the roads are a little warmer than the temperature of the track. But I think in the next couple of days it should be gone as well. So when we get back to the track next week, I'll be okay. How I felt on this run, I felt very comfortable and open. I've been doing very good with the recovery every night, and that's been very crucial in making sure I bounce back from each hard day, and also doing my easy runs very easy on those days as well. I left this run feeling after each set, remember there's only 4 sets at 5 minutes, I felt I could have gone longer at each set and faster. And with my coach, I know we've talked about to not hit the red line on some of these paces. This pace was more of a threshold. And when threshold is not the red line. So we can do intervals where we're hitting the red line. Threshold's about 20 to 30 seconds slower. That's where we're at roughly. And I'm roughly at around 620 and 625 when it comes to where my 2 and 3 mile point is. So we're looking at another 25 to 30 seconds slower than that, which is why I was around 655 roughly. This is just a guess. It's not the same because the GPS watch is not the most perfect. But that's kind of where I was at. He put on me for between 7 minutes, 7:10. I felt I could have gone a little better. The first 2 sets felt super easy. Not like, oh my God, I'm not breathing heavy. I was breathing a little bit, but not like it is when I'm running below 630 mile pace. So it felt good. The last 2 sets, the first 2 sets were great. The last 2 sets, you could start feeling the legs starting to turn over and having issues. I felt if I would have kept going throughout the whole 20 minutes, instead of doing 5 miles, stopping for a minute, 5 miles, stopping for a minute, I felt if I went the whole way, I would have been a lot better off. What I mean by that is I would have been able to accomplish the whole run at the same pace. But when you start and stop, I've noticed it's like getting going again is a little tricky, and I think maybe that's part of the point. Get your muscles used to it. Oh, and before I started this workout, I did a couple strides to get my body ready to go. So I did warm up of the 2 miles, and then I stopped, moved around, stretched a little bit, and then I did strides, 100 meters down, 100 meters back, 100 meters down, 100 meters back, so 4 times down the straightaway of the track, about 20 seconds worth, where you just get your legs turning over. And I noticed that actually helps get your legs ready to go into the faster pace. The steady state run, the 10-minute part of the run, was a welcome because after the fourth set, I could tell I was breathing a little heavier and my legs were getting a little tired. I could tell. I definitely felt like I could have gone a fifth set if I had to. That was not a big issue, but it was welcomed to be able to go about 20 seconds slower, 20 to 25 seconds slower on my steady state run for 10 minutes. and it gave me a little recovery because I noticed about 5 minutes into that 10 minutes, I was like, okay, I feel recovered now to go even faster. So it felt good. We're gonna play around with this when it comes to these different track workouts. I know the other coach talked about redlining, which is going the fastest you can. Then you have threshold, which is about 30 seconds slower. Steady state, which is about another 30 seconds. So now you're a minute slower from your. Then you have marathon, a minute and a half, or that's kind of how I'm understanding it. I probably have to get more confirmation on that. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with this run. I think it was good work. I could feel it in my legs that were turning over, and the goal of this run was to focus on pushing the lungs and the legs, but not to the red line point, because we're not trying to break. We're trying to get the adaptation of the lungs and legs. And that's one of the things I found very difficult with me is to be open to not redlining every single time. So this run was supposed to do that. But that's basically my check-in for this run. Um, the snow. One little thing. This running on the snow. I was slipping a little bit, so I do wonder if I could have gone faster with less effort, or if the effort I was doing would have been easier or felt easier because the snow wasn't there. Because there were parts of that track that I could run on where the track was open. I could get regular flat flat road, and then they were on the turn especially. I had to run an inch of snow where sometimes I was hitting the ice where I was slipping a little bit, so I wasn't able to get the traction, and maybe that slowed me down. I don't know. Plus the little wind. But those are all adversity that you have to overcome, and it's part of the training and being outside, and it helps with the muscles, the lungs. It's all good for you. At least I think so. All right, well, that's today. Thank you for listening, and see you next one.